Hello, everyone, and welcome. Have you ever been to an event, maybe a wedding or a festival, where everything just flowed, where it all seemed so effortless and everyone was just having an amazing time? Well, I'm here to tell you that's not magic, and it's definitely not luck. It's the result of a really, really good plan. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and walk through, step by step, how you can create that same seamless experience for anything you're working on.
But first, let's be real. We've all been on the other side of that, right? You've tried to plan something, maybe just a small birthday party or a project at work, and it just turned into, well, total chaos. That sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize you forgot something major, the last-minute panic, it's just so stressful. You end up feeling like you're just running around putting out fires instead of actually enjoying what you created. And that right there, that's the big idea for today. The most memorable, the most successful events, they don't just magically happen. They are carefully, thoughtfully planned. Think of it this way. Success isn't an accident, it's a blueprint. And today, we're going to learn how to draw that blueprint.
So, what do we even mean when we say planning?
Well, at its heart, it's pretty simple. It's the process of figuring out three things: what needs to be done, how you're going to do it, and when it needs to get done. By answering these questions before you start, you create a roadmap that helps you get to your goals smoothly, without wasting your precious time, your money, or your energy.
Okay, so every great project, just like a strong building, needs a solid foundation to stand on. You can't just start building the walls and the roof, right? You have to start from the ground up. In planning, that foundation is built on three absolutely crucial first steps. Let's break them down. Here they are, the three pillars of your foundation. First, brainstorming. This is where you figure out your big idea. Second, creating a timeline. This is how you map out your schedule. And third, making a checklist. This is where you track every single little detail. Seriously, if you get these three things right from the very beginning, you've already built a powerful base for success. Step 1, brainstorming. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with an idea. This is the fun part, the dreaming phase. This is where you decide your what. What is the whole point of this event? For this Kaushal Mela, or skill fair, the goal was very clear: to let students show off the amazing projects they've been working on, like woodworking or hydroponics. You see how critical this is? You can't possibly plan how to get somewhere until you know exactly where you're going. All right, next up is the timeline. Now, this is where you get realistic. Not all tasks are created equal, are they? Ordering materials for a project might take a few weeks, but designing a quick poster? That might only take a day. A timeline helps you see all of this visually. It shows you which tasks are the long ones that you need to start right away. And even more importantly, it shows you which tasks depend on each other. You can't send out invitations until you've actually designed them. And that brings us to what I think is the most powerful tool in your entire planning toolkit, the checklist. Now listen, this is not just some simple to-do list you'd make for groceries. No way. This is your master plan. It's your command center, the single source of truth that will hold every single task, big or small, that you need to do to bring your idea to life. This is your blueprint. So with that foundation of brainstorming, a timeline, and a checklist in place, it's time to actually build the rest of the structure. Let's really dive into how we take that simple idea of a checklist and turn it into a detailed, foolproof master plan that leaves absolutely no stone unturned. First things first, you have got to lock in the absolute basics. These are the non-negotiables that everything else will depend on: the date and the time, the venue or the place. Who are you even inviting? What are you actually going to show them? And what do you need to make it happen? Practical stuff like tables, chairs, electricity. Answering these big questions first gives your entire plan a solid spine to build upon. Okay, once you know the what, where, and when, you gotta tell people about it. This whole section of your plan is all about communication. How is that invitation going to look and feel? Who exactly is on the guest list? And how are you going to send the invites? Is it through email, by post, maybe a social media event? You also want to think about preparing things like info pamphlets, so when your guests arrive, they know exactly what to expect. Now, this is a really important shift. We're moving from planning on paper and on screens to planning for the real physical world. Getting the word out is one thing, but now you have to actually prepare the space where everyone will be. And this part of the plan, this execution phase, involves a whole new set of tasks.
This is where your event really starts to come alive. Your checklist needs to get super detailed here. We're talking about everything from how to set up each individual stall and how you'll decorate it, to the seating arrangements, and don't forget the practical stuff. Things like clear signboards pointing to the entry and the toilets. If you have a stage, well, that's a whole mini plan in itself. You've got to think about sound, lighting, and so on. Every single one of these details adds up to create the overall experience for your guests. Now, it's so easy to get carried away with the fun stuff like decorations and music, but please do not overlook the essentials that keep everyone safe and comfortable. This is stuff like, where is the first aid station going to be? What safety precautions do we need to be aware of? What's our plan for garbage and keeping the place clean? Thinking through these details beforehand is what separates a pretty good event from a truly great professional one. You know, having a clearly marked, well-stocked first aid station, it does more than just keep people safe. It sends a message. It tells your guests, we care about you. We've thought about your well-being. Honestly, it's one of the clearest signs of a professional, well-thought-out plan. It builds trust. All right, all that hard work, all that preparation, it's all been leading up to this. It is time for the main event. So let's talk about showtime and, just as importantly, what you need to do after the curtains close.
And here it is, the big day. This is the payoff. Every single item you ticked off your checklist, all of that coordination, it all comes together right here in this moment. You can see the students proudly showing off their automation stall. The puppet show is captivating the audience. When your plan is solid, you actually get to enjoy the day because you've already thought through and solved most of the problems before they even had a chance to happen.
But hold on. It is so tempting to just breathe a huge sigh of relief and relax the moment that last guest walks out the door. But a truly complete plan, a professional plan, always accounts for what happens next. The job isn't quite finished yet. This final phase, the wrap-up, really boils down to 3 key tasks. Number 1, collect feedback. Ask your guests what they thought. This information is pure gold for making your next event even better. Number 2, return any equipment you borrowed and make sure it's in good condition. And number 3, the all-important cleanup. A perfect finish means leaving the venue just as you found it, or maybe even a little cleaner. This final act of responsibility and respect really closes the loop on your whole project. It ensures you maintain great relationships with people, whether it's the venue manager or the person you borrowed chairs from. It is the very last tick on your master checklist. So there you have it, a clear, step-by-step blueprint for turning potential chaos into guaranteed success. From that first little spark of an idea all the way to the final cleanup, planning is the guide that will see you through. So now you have the tools. The only question left is, what amazing thing will you build?